What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so I just got done reading a really interesting CBR article that compared Omega from the Bad Batch to Jar Jar Binks. Yes, I know. The dreaded Jar Jar Binks comparison. It's like the vilest word in Star Wars history. Even worse than midichlorians. I don't know. I mean, do you think that that she deserves this comparison just a few episodes in? I feel like she doesn't. I feel like maybe that is a little bit unfair. I guess you could say maybe she's the Jar Jar Binks of the Bad Batch, in the way that I feel like she ruins a lot of these episodes. Episodes that really should be focused on them, us learning about them, us learning the transition from the team to, from the Republic to the Empire, the choices that they have to make, whether their individuality or going against, their honor, their loyalty that they, to their fellow brothers. I mean, there's a lot of different things that this show should be about. But it seems like the first few episodes are really about Hunter's relationship with, or father figure relationship with Omega. And about protecting Omega in a lot of ways. I mean, it's or about Omega's secret. I don't like that. It seems like Disney does this a lot. They did it with Rey. They're doing it with Grogu already, and now it looks like they're doing it with Omega. This secret that keeps fans holding on to see what a secret is, to see if it's something amazing, to see if it's something that will keep them entertained for seasons to come. Pondering the fact of what that secret may be. Is she a Jedi? Is she the next Anakin Skywalker? Or is she just regular clone? We don't know. There's something supposedly special. Is she force sensitive? I mean, there's something about, her shooting the gun out of that person's hand made me think, okay, she might be force sensitive in that regard. Is that interesting enough for us to continue watching it? Not for me necessarily. Does that make me want to see more of her? No, it actually really doesn't. I'm not any bit interested in learning more about her history. I'm just not. One can make the comparison that she's the comedy of the Bad Batch, but I don't even think that's true. I feel like Jar Jar Binks was there for the comedy aspect in a normally serious version of the prequel trilogy, but I don't feel like she's there for comedy. I feel like some of the others are there for comedy, and they do a really good job. A lot of the team on the Bad Batch do a pretty good job of bringing comedy to it. But I'll tell you who she kind of reminds me of. She either, like I said, she is, she's just, to me, another version of Grogu. She just is. I mean, she's got this way about her. This, she's somebody that Hunter needs to protect. Kind of like what the Mandalorian has to do for Grogu. I feel like we're already going through that already. I don't feel like we need to replay that again with a less interesting character. At least you can say, with Grogu, yes, he's got that secret, but he's got powers. He saved the Mandalorian countless times. Like, I just feel like his connection, with or not with Yoda is something that's really interesting. That keeps me looking forward to season 3 of The Mandalorian. But Omega just seems like a child, basically someone that needs to be babysitted, somebody that adds that father-daughter relationship in the show, that adds that component to it. Do I feel like they need that component? No, I don't. I feel like that's the furthest thing from what this show needs. This show should have been focused on brotherhood. This show should have been focused on, like I said, the individuality of these characters. The choices that they make, breaking away from the Empire when they served so honorably for the Republic. The choices of betraying their brothers, or their brothers betraying them. I mean, in a lot of different ways. I mean, there is so many interesting aspects to the Bad Batch that should be there. It should be the main focus, but instead it's about Omega. Now, she might take an Ezra Bridger or Ahsoka Tano turn. It might turn into one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars history. I don't know. Probably not, I would say. But I do remember the first time I saw Ahsoka Tano on screen. Thought, what a waste of a character. Like, seriously, what a waste. She screws up Kanan. She screws up a lot of the movies. It doesn't make sense, Anakin Skywalker having a Padawan. But then one thing happened. I grew to love that character. I grew to care about that character. I grew to put that character at the top of my list when it comes to Star Wars character. I was like a fanboy when Rosario Dawson appeared on screen as Ahsoka Tano. I didn't care if she screwed up every line, which she didn't. She did a fabulous job. But I didn't care. I just wanted to see Ahsoka Tano on screen. And when they said that they were going to make an Ahsoka Tano series, oh, you betcha. You know, Rants or Us, we covered that. And we will cover every episode of the new Ahsoka Tano series. I mean, with the utmost joy and excitement. Because that's how much of a fan I am of Ahsoka Tano. I think she's an amazing character, a brilliant character. Ezra Bridger, I'm not as sold on him as what I am Ahsoka Tano. I felt like towards the end of Rebels, I really kind of started enjoying his character a lot more. There was that Kanan connection, between those two shows that we got to see young Kanan in, the Bad Batch. But I feel like if there's any comparison, I feel like Jar Jar Binks isn't it. I feel like the real comparison should be between her and Grogu. And I think fans should be asking a question, why do we need to see this going on at the exact same time in the Bad Batch as what it is in The Mandalorian? Why should we see almost the exact same story taking place? Just different characters. What about, from everything from the needing to be taken care of to the secret aspect of it. To these characters being different. The Mandalorian is different from his other Mandalorian counterparts. He breaks rules that normally they wouldn't do. We've seen differences. We haven't seen differences in the Bad Batch and the Mandalorian in that way. So, to me, I'm like, that she's just a generic version of Grogu. The worst aspects of Grogu in a lot of different ways. I feel like it's going to take away a lot from this series, simply because instead of us learning more about the Bad Batch or characters around them, we're going to be starting to see whole episodes where they need to save her. That's the way it feels to me. I'm not looking forward to that. I feel like the Bad Batch has been decent so far, but it hasn't lived up to my expectations as much as I wanted it to. I thought episode 2 was really kind of subpar, especially compared to what we've seen in the past, or at least the first episode. But guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Do you think the Jar Jar Binks comparison is a good one? Do you feel like she resembles more of Ahsoka Tano, Grogu, any of those characters more? Or do you feel like, hey, you know what? She could be or is the Jar Jar Binks of the Bad Batch. I think she is. I think she is Disney's Jar Jar Binks in the way of she has ruined, in a lot of ways, a lot of the storylines and plots of the Bad Batch. But I don't necessarily put her in the same likeness as Jar Jar Binks, and simply no one's as bad as Jar Jar Binks. I mean, that's like saying someone's evil, but then comparing them to the devil. But then you always think to yourself, ooh, is that person really as bad as that? Like, I mean, it's kind of one of those comparisons. Because you think, well, anybody that's got some good qualities to them isn't quite as bad as the devil. Kind of feel that way with Omega in a lot of ways. I don't think she's as bad as Jar Jar Binks, but I do think she could lead to ruin to this series, quite like what Jar Jar Binks led to ruin with the prequel trilogies. But we'll just have to see. But as always, guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you love or hate her. Let me know if you think she's the next Jar Jar Binks or the next Ahsoka Tano. Let me know down in the comment section. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.